Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and we have got some hot news in the Raid Shadow Legends Plarium sphere coming out with headlines like this. Leading global games publisher Plarium appoints a new chief executive officer. Now, I was going to upload a video about this, but I saw that Murder Inc. already covered the topic, so I thought this would be a fun opportunity to react to how he feels about this and see what he is saying, and then give you some context as to where I agree or disagree and all that. I haven't watched this video yet, but Murder Inc., by the way, is a very OG Raid Shadow Legends player and content creator. I will link to his channel down below. You definitely want to check it out. Most of you probably know who Murder Inc. is, but if you don't, his channel is definitely worth checking out because he puts out a lot of really good stuff about Raid, and I think he dabbles into other things as well. But let's hear what Murder Inc. has to say about the new CEO change coming to Plarium and how it will affect. His video is titled that this could change everything, so let's see where I agree and disagree and all that. Well, let's get into it. All right, let's go ahead and fire it up. Oh, and by the way, I am just doing some Minotaur grinding there in the back. So here we go. Let's fire it up.
I'm not really sure how to handle this. I read it. I'm still trying to process. We're going to go over it together, and you're probably going to be sharing some similar reaction to this. So let's just dive straight into it.
Murder Inc. has one of the sickest intros too, by the way. I love his intro. Good job on that, Murder.
What up, team? It is Murder Inc. here, talking about not so much Raid Shadow Legends. Well, we are talking about Raid Shadow Legends, but more on the Plarium side. Kind of crazy. So, there was this article, August 19th, 2022, about 5 months ago. We're hitting that mark here. There's a few things we need to talk about. Some are going to be shocking, some aren't going to be that shocking, but as far as the future goes, let's just, I can't. We have to go in order here. So first thing worth noting, Raid Shadow Legends recently, 5 months ago, exceeded $1 billion in lifetime revenue. Now we know they make money. We know that. $1 billion. It's a lot of money. Okay, anyways. So this is this interview with the CEO, Aviram.
Yeah, and it is a lot of money, but we do see games, like I was a content creator for Diablo 3 as well, and that game doesn't even have microtransactions, and I believe Diablo 3 made $1 billion. So yeah, I mean, like, there is just a lot of money coming into gaming in the last 5 years or so, even 10 years, and with ever since the invention of the smartphone, gaming is more widespread, and the money is just flying in at record-setting paces for sure.
Steinhardt here, and just listen to what he has to say. I think you guys would appreciate it, whether you've read this or not. I'm assuming most people haven't read this. What's your role? He's a CEO. The second question, how do you reflect on the performance of Raid as a title from launch to now? We knew that Raid was going to be special based on the player response in our soft launch markets, so they knew what they were doing. Albeit no one could have anticipated it would achieve these heights. Raid's huge. The way I view Raid is that it's more than just a well-developed game. It's a masterclass in consistently adding new players through a steady rollout of live ops, feature updates, and new collectible champions, while also being careful to nurture, engage, and reward loyal players that we already have. Interesting statement. You guys can pick that apart all you want, but that's just for you guys. The game itself can only change so much, but the way we continue to build the community and the way players become attached to our characters like Death Knight has been an amazing experience for us as a developer. Interesting. The next question doesn't really matter too much. Question number 4. Get this. How important do you consider customer support and updates to be?
What was the one that he
skipped? What's been your approach?
What was the
question number 4? Experience for us as a developer. Interesting. The next question doesn't really matter.
How is the team currently handling live ops? Don't look at, yeah, no, he's right.
Matter too much. Question number 4. Get this. How important do you consider customer support and updates to be? What's been your approach? We consider having a robust customer support and update pipeline as table stakes because AAA quality games must have a comparable level of support. Players spend a considerable amount of time with Raid, and we must reciprocate by addressing their concerns as quickly and as thoroughly as possible. So this is a typical statement from a CEO. He did well. That's a very well put together idea. We also consider community building a vital portion of customer support. The community is a vehicle for new ideas and oftentimes responding to their needs help us create new raid live ops in future updates. I think less so in the beginning and more so now for sure. Raid players are very smart, sophisticated, and detail oriented, so we always listen and learn from their issues and recommendations. Like I said, not so much in the past, but I think we're definitely slowly, very slowly moving into the right direction. As far as approach, we tend to observe 3 key areas before greenlighting any new update: community, data, and the market. Community is definitely, I don't know, they put it first for optics for sure, but it's definitely data, market, community. I mean, let's just be real here. They're trying to make money. By sticking to this process, we've been able to create innovative features that bring in new players and keep current ones engaged. Current ones to an extent. I get it. That does make sense. What steps have you taken to ensure that Raid maintains a sizable and active player base all this time after its launch? We all know the answer there. There's words here. Over 500 total champions in the game, appearances, skill sets, unique, all of these words, but marketing. Their advertisement is crazy. Yes, they have good updates. Yes, they have new content. The game is still fun, but their ability to draw in new players is second to none. Literally none. So I'm not going to read that because you guys already know if you've been playing this. What would you
Yeah, I would say a big reason of why they've been able to maintain and continue to draw on new players is because there's no competition. There isn't anything that's even approached coming close to Raid. There's all these like Eternal Evolutions and Infinite Magic raids and Awaken Chaos Era, and they're good games, but they are not even in the same atmosphere as Raid, as far as not even on the same planet in terms of the amount of champions and the robustness of the game and the quality of the graphics and the look of the aesthetic and it's not even close. So I think that would be, now he is right. The marketing for Raid is insane. They pump a lot of money into it. And they also do a pretty good job. Like the Ultimate Death Knight stuff was funny and fun for the community. And like the Ronda Rousey and the Ninja, and they do a really good job of marketing, promotion type stuff. So I do think it's a blend of both. I think the fact that there's zero competition is also a bit, like if we ever see a game come out that's truly on Raid's level, then we'll find out how much of an impact some of this stuff is, and if they can continue to keep growing the player base like they are.
You consider Raid's greatest achievement since launch? This is going to be interesting. It's the quality of features and live ops in terms of polish, sophistication, and addressing the needs of our players. We feel very strongly in this area, and as mentioned before, consider it critical to the game's continued success. That kind of just seems like a copy and paste statement there. What lessons have you learned and are still learning from Raid? Is there anything about the game that in hindsight you do differently? The biggest lesson we learned from Raid is to maintain focus. We have so many talented creatives working on the game, and if you were to pick any 10 of them and ask them for Raid ideas, chances are they would all be great. But understanding how to properly vet all the ideas and select a few that will have the greatest positive impact to the player base and money is something we have greatly improved on over the years. You have indeed. One thing we would have handled differently is placing more resources into building a bigger and stronger culture on the game earlier in Raid's launch. Kind of what I talked about before, how they weren't as community focused and feedback based for the first, I don't know, half of the game's life, maybe even 3/4 of the game's life. In the beginning, we were laser focused on game.
Yeah, so you know, I've been here since the beginning, as pretty close Murder Inc. has as well. You know, and I actually did meet with the people above Plarium. I met with some of the investors over at Aristocrat. I did a dedicated video here on the channel. I'll try to remember to link to it over there from back in the day when I met with the investors when the last time there was a big leadership change at Plarium. I think they met with a few of us. I don't know what other content creators they met with. They met with us all individually, and it was like a conference call where I was on the line with like 10 of them to talk about some different stuff. And if you want to see the full breakdown, I'll do the dedicated video. But anyway, you know, Murder's right that it seems like after that change in leadership, there was a different level of the things that changed in the game, like the rotation of the summoning events really changed and became a lot more predictable, and them interacting with the community did ramp up. Back in the day, really all they did to interact with the community was promote like 1 or 2 content creators. Like they promoted Stu Gaming first. They promoted him in game, and that was huge. He was the first one to ever get promoted, so it completely blew up his channel. And then the second one they ever promoted was Hell Hades, and then I met with them. They changed in leadership, and then they have done lots of promotions in game. They did like 1 or 2 for me after that. They've done for Murder Inc. and Ash and all sorts of content creators where they've done like different things featuring plugging other people. So there definitely was a shift at that point, like he said, about halfway through Raid's existence, where leadership changed and they did become a little bit more focused on interacting and doing some of that stuff with the community. Plarium got so lucky. Raid has an incredible community. So many talented content creators and smart people that build tools for the game and build websites, your Deadwood Jedis and your Hell Hadeses, with full teams that really do things to help the game grow. And then the community is incredible. Like if you look on Reddit, someone will make a topic like asking who to 6-star, and before you can even load it, there's like 25 people giving them suggestions on what to do. So in like Discord servers and Reddit and YouTube and Twitch, Plarium got really lucky that the community for Raid is just second to none as far as gacha mobile games.
Quality and updates, true, the game was like nothing else out there, and the community was secondary to this. Agreed. Once we started to place equal resources on the community side, Raid really took off to be the popular title it is today. I wouldn't wholly agree with the last statement. I think it was pretty big before the community draw to it, but I get why they said it. Finally, how has your experience with Raid Shadow Legends informed where you are and what you're working at now? Listen to this. We broke a glass ceiling at Plarium with Raid Shadow Legends. They did. They went above and beyond anyone else. Literally. And now we have a much better understanding of how we achieved it, and most importantly, how we can build on it further. So they're talking about Raid and building on it. Although I can't mention what we are working on right now, it's in a wildly popular genre and will be even bigger in size and scope than Raid. A game that's earned them, as of 5 months ago, $1 billion in revenue in just 4 years. It's a very short time for something so new. New as, I mean, Raid's not a new idea of a game, but what they've done with it is they're trailblazers. Will be even bigger in size and scope than Raid. So my question is, leave a comment below. I'm curious to what you think. What genre is the new game they're gonna release? A PlariumPlay game. Is it going to be pay to win? I don't think so. Would they dare try to make an MMO? What's considered a dying genre? What about a first-person shooter?
Bigger in scope than Raid would have to be like an MMO. Like are they gonna do something like Clash of Clans did and try to keep the same look and the same IP, but then expand upon that and make like a card collector game like Clash of Clans? They took all those units and that whole IP and then they made Clash Royale. So would Raid try something like that? Would they take some of the characters like Arbiter and some of the famous characters and try to spin off a new RPG or card collector game, like a Hearthstone type thing? I don't know, but when you say bigger scope than Raid, in terms of games that have a big scope, you're talking MMO, you're talking Battle Royale, you're talking games like that. Once you start to get a little bit more niche when you start to get into like FPS and RTS and stuff like that. So really interesting. Now, he doesn't think it would be pay to win. I think it would be really hard to sell Plarium on not making a game with microtransactions after they've seen the success that they had with it in Raid. But it's definitely possible if they make a game that just has like a $40 sticker price or something. We could see them try to throw their hat in the ring of that market.
They have so much money. They've made so much money. They can pretty much test any genre they want and fail and be fine. So I'm curious about this. I've had a similar statement said to me about a year after I started playing by someone in the company that said there's something else going on that is potentially going to be bigger, and Raid's kind of a test. When I heard Raid was the test, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. We're playing like a test game, but this kind of wraps everything up. So I'm dying of curiosity. I mean, like I said, this was 5 months ago, but listen to this plot twist. Like I said, Aviram Steinhardt, CEO. Listen to this. Welcome to 2023. Appoints Shraga Moore.
Oh, hey, that's the article I had pulled up.
CEO.
I think.
January 16th. This happened 2 days ago. So that interview.
Yeah, it's the exact same one.
That I just read is by, he's the current CEO now, but as of February, there's going to be a new CEO. And Plarium, in this article right here, I'm going to put links to both of these so you guys can read it if you want. They're basically talking this new guy up. So the question is, how much are things going to change? Is this new guy going to shake things up completely? Did they not like the direction that the other huge project that we don't know about is going? If you guys aren't familiar, there was a second game, as we can see here. The company made a successful entry into the action genre with the launch of Mech Arena. I played it. It's a fun phone game for sure. I don't know. It's supposed to be on PlariumPlay. I actually talked with Cirilla and Banana Jam, or maybe just Cirilla, I want to say, during my interview, whenever that was, a year ago at this point. And I said, when's it coming to PlariumPlay? That's like your first big step. And they said, it's in the works, but probably not for some time. I don't think it's there yet. Could be wrong, but
I think it is on PlariumPlay. I can look real quick here. I'm pretty sure Mech Arena is on PlariumPlay. It shows it. Like I can show you here on screen. It says learn more, so maybe. Now, I haven't played it in a long time, but I think Mech Arena is on PlariumPlay. And also, he's right. Mech Arena is genuinely a decent little game. It's not a game that I'm going to end up maining on my channel or anything, or you know, trying to hit rank 1 in the world or anything. But it's not a bad game. It's fun to try out and mess around on. I think they did a pretty good job with it all in all.
But I don't think it's there yet. But Mech Arena, it is a pretty fun game. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of like your basic shooter game. But this is what was interesting about this article and the last one that I talked about. It said it's delivered over $1 billion in lifetime revenue, which currently ranks 1 in the squad RPG category. And PlariumPlay delivers close to 30.
But in the squad RPG category, there is no competition. There's no actual competition, or at least very little. Now, I don't know if they consider. Like, I think there's really only, like, 2 true competitors to Raid, and they came out before Raid. So Raid's the newest. And you have, like, Summoner's War. I always get Summoner's War and Summoner's Glory mixed up. But you have Summoner's War was, like, a big one before Raid. And then you had Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And then Raid came out after those. And we haven't seen a game of quite that caliber come out since Raid. I don't consider a game like Genshin Impact to be a competitor of, like, Raid and Summoner's War. But Genshin is even bigger than Raid.
30% of Plarium's total revenues. PlariumPlay, not the App Store, not the Google Play Store, if you have an Android device, PlariumPlay. So their kind of goal was achieved. They not only invested tons of money into making a client for PlariumPlay, but people are using it and they're spending money on it. So Moore says a bunch of things. He's happy about joining. It's a little about Plarium, all the companies that are either Plarium's owned by or Plarium is joined together with in digital commerce, marketing, product development, all that good stuff. So this is interesting because this is the first big leadership change that we've seen in a long time. I'm pretty sure since Raid came out, we haven't seen anything at this high of a level of someone that can make.
I'm pretty sure there was a CEO change back when they met with a bunch of us about 2 years ago. And then that was when, you know, I feel like it was the Plarium CEO. It's been years. But there definitely was a big leadership change back then. I think Murder Inc. was around for that.
Pretty large scale changes to something. Do I think they're going to change Raid completely? No, I don't. At all. Probably, maybe. I don't know. The question is, what do they want from this guy? They clearly want something from this guy they weren't getting from the guy before. Is it likely the guy before just left? If you were the CEO of a company that made $1 billion in revenue, would you just leave? That's why I'm kind of ruling that out. Speculating, of course, but just doesn't make sense. So something wasn't clicking there that I can see. And of course, it says right here, 435 million users worldwide. It's a lot of people. I mean, that's why I'm kind of ruling that out, speculating, of course, but just doesn't make sense. So something wasn't clicking there that I can see. And of course,
so so Plarium, more than 4, so that's combining all the games that Plarium does. Okay, I was gonna be shocked if that was just
right
Raid.
here, 435 million users worldwide. It's a lot of people. I mean, bots, of course, but this is 2 days old, so this is pretty new information here.
Yeah, this is the article that I was going to cover.
Here and there, most of them are months out of date, but this is as new as it gets, being 2 days old. So I'm curious about what you guys think about this. What will this change? I mean, we have to watch, right? He's not going to come in. Let me see if I can find it. So the end of February 2023 is when he will assume his role as the CEO.
That's actually pretty quick. Usually these big changes like this, unless there's some catastrophe, take a little bit longer to get into place. That's only a few weeks. End of February is 6 weeks, but it's probably been in negotiations for a while, I guess, and they're just now kind of saying it. So yeah, you know, to kind of go, I don't think this is necessarily a Raid move. So this is the Plarium CEO. It's just that Raid is probably the biggest part of Plarium, but I feel like Raid's been going pretty well for them since the last leadership change, like the last 2 years or so. So I doubt that they're like making a change because we need to spice up Raid. This is probably to have to do with Mech Arena and some of the other projects that they have maybe coming down the pipeline in the future, if I had to guess. Raid's been doing pretty well. I don't see any like big changes that would happen in Raid, but there might be some minor tweaks here and there that new leadership might want to try.
The question is, we have to watch as players what changes, what shifts, and we will know where it came from. So my thing is this. Listen, I didn't want to bring up this point because I wasn't sure, but maybe it could be a coincidence. We did have the war. That was a big thing that pushed content back. What if Plarium knew they were getting a new CEO, they had to wait for a contract to expire or something with the current CEO, and they were waiting to push all of these new, the year of PvP that was completely scrapped from last year. Not scrapped, but it was kind of pushed off until this year. Was it on purpose? The new dungeons that we've seen, most of their content, I'm sure I've said this before in other videos, is pre-made. As far as what they already know, what they're already good at. PvP is not a strong suit in Raid. It's kind of been their like failing mark to an extent. Sure, people enjoy PvP a little bit here and there. Endgame is all we have. 15 minutes, 1 day a week, but they've kind of missed the mark on that. So to completely revamp and overhaul this whole section of the game, maybe it has to do with this new guy coming in, and maybe he proposed something that they liked. They said he specializes in something that
yeah, I agree with everything he said there, by the way. Now, I don't know that revamping PvP would be something that would pertain to this guy specifically. You know, I see like previously served as CEO of MSN and ICQ and more like the business side of things. I don't see like a gaming type design person, but maybe they would trust him to oversee something like that. So not saying that he's wrong, but I don't know that this move would be in relation to like PvP, but they do definitely need to make some changes to PvP. That's for sure. And I hope they do that this year.
Probably work for Raid, and he can communicate that down the line to people working directly with this game. And I don't know, I'm interested to see what happens in the future here. This is kind of big. We haven't really had news like this in forever, so I'm curious to see where it goes from here. I like videos like this. This is interesting to me. Leave a comment on your feedback for sure. As always, if you enjoy this content, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell.
Cool. Thank you, Murder Inc., for the insight and for your perspective. And like he was saying there, definitely go check out the original content. I'm going to link to that down below. Go throw Murder Inc. a like on the video and a subscribe and all that good stuff. He's a good content creator, puts out good stuff. But yeah, I agree with most of what he said. I don't think, just to kind of wrap up, I don't think we're going to see big changes in Raid. They're doing pretty well. They got all the promotions do well. The Ultimate Death Knight, the Ronda, the fusions have been getting better. The dungeons have been lackluster. Like the Iron Twins and the Sand Devil Necropolis haven't been received with a lot of hype. So they could do to release something PvE that is pretty hyped up. The Hydra was a little bit more negative when it came out as well. The Hydra's growing on the game. It's okay, but there could definitely be some adjustments and some better PvE content. But PvP, I would say, is a priority this year. Having no live PvP, having no way for like content creators to have fun tournaments against each other and showcase different teams with different challenges, and all the drama of Platinum Arena and the mess that Tag Team Arena is for a lot of players trying to do progress missions. I mean, the list is endless of possibilities to make PvP better in Raid. But yeah, like Murder said, let me know down below what you think. It's some big news to have big leadership changes like that in Plarium, because Raid is one of the biggest things that Plarium does, obviously. So yeah, that is going to do it for me on this one. And thanks to Murder Inc. for letting me react to some of his insights. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.